Mountains, with their towering altitudes and extreme climates, represent some of the most challenging environments on Earth. Yet, even amidst freezing cold, low oxygen levels, and steep terrain, many animals not only survive, but thrive. Species such as mountain goats, snow leopards, and eagles have developed incredible adaptations over thousands of years. These special traits range from hooves designed for climbing to thick fur coats that shield against harsh cold. These adaptations are the key to overcoming the challenges of mountainous habitats. However, life in the mountains isn't just about physical survival, it's also about behavioral strategies. Many mountain-dwelling animals are masters at avoiding predators, using the difficult geography as an ally. Additionally, they have learned to migrate to different altitudes in search of food and shelter depending on the season. This ability to move efficiently is crucial, as resources at high altitudes are often scarce and seasonal. The interaction between animal instincts and the mountainous environment creates a delicate ecological balance. This balance, however, faces significant threats due to climate change and human activities. Rising temperatures are transforming high-altitude habitats, directly affecting species specialized in these regions. The construction of roads, resource exploitation, and uncontrolled tourism also contribute to the fragmentation and destruction of mountain ecosystems. To preserve the rich biodiversity of mountains, it is essential to implement conservation initiatives that protect both the animals and the environment they inhabit. After all, the ones who survive this struggle are those able to adapt to changes, whether they are natural or human-made. In the icy heights of mountains where oxygen is scarce and the cold seems relentless, life pulses in astonishing ways. Many species, such as the snow leopard and the mountain goat, are perfect examples of how nature shapes extraordinary adaptations. The snow leopard, for instance, has fur so dense it functions like a built-in winter coat, while its wide, furry paws act as natural snowshoes. Mountain goats, with their pincered hooves, defy gravity on steep cliffs, moving with an agility that puts even the best human climbers to shame. On the other hand, the internal adaptations of these animals are just as impressive. Species that live at high altitudes exhibit hemoglobin adapted to capture the maximum oxygen from thin air. This is essential in regions where even a simple walk can feel like a marathon for the body. Additionally, many mountain-dwelling mammals adjust their metabolism to conserve energy, entering an almost hibernation-like state during critical times. This ability to switch off the engine in adverse conditions is a masterful trick to withstand constant challenges. And we mustn't forget the factor of isolation. In mountains where winters are harsh and predators are rare, many animals have developed unique adaptations not found anywhere else. Species like the pika, a small rodent native to mountainous regions, have the peculiar habit of drying herbs in the sun and storing them for winter, a kind of natural pantry. This interplay of physiology and behavior reveals a living laboratory where every characteristic, no matter how simple, is vital for survival. But speaking of challenges, how will these species cope with the climate changes that threaten to transform their homes in the heights? Mountains are more than just landforms that dominate the horizon. They are sanctuaries of biodiversity. With their towering peaks and deep valleys, these ecosystems harbor a vast variety of species that cannot be found anywhere else on the planet. The different altitudinal levels create microhabitats that serve as refuges for animals and plants, especially during periods of climate change. It's as if mountains were massive natural arcs, preserving life in extreme conditions while connecting ecosystems that rely on them to stay balanced. Moreover, mountains play a critical role in the water cycle, a vital resource for all biodiversity. The snow and ice accumulated on their peaks feed rivers that irrigate plains, forests, and even distant deserts. Species such as amphibians and insects depend on this continuous moisture to complete their life cycles. But the benefits don't stop there. Many mountain plants, like grasses and mosses, play essential roles in carbon capture and climate regulation. Even the smallest organisms living in the heights exert surprising influence on global biodiversity. However, there's a dilemma. While mountains are cradles of life, they are also barriers that limit species movement. This creates a curious cycle. Mountains isolate, but also protect. This duality means that while they shelter unique species, these habitats can be extremely vulnerable to sudden changes such as global warming or human activity. If mountain biodiversity has remained resilient so far, how will it respond to the transformations occurring worldwide? In the unpredictable environment of mountains, survival requires more than physical strength. It's a matter of strategy and intelligence. Many animals have developed behaviors that defy logic, such as the iconic snow leopard, which calculates every move to conserve energy while chasing prey on steep slopes. Meanwhile, birds like the golden eagle display surgical precision when hunting small mammals, leveraging air currents to minimize effort. These examples highlight that, at high altitudes, behavioral adaptation is as crucial as physical changes. The ability to navigate mountainous terrain also demands a sharp sense of orientation. Mountain goats, for example, use a detailed mental map of their surroundings to locate shelter or food in hard-to-reach areas. Similarly, ibexes rely on their gregarious behavior, moving in groups to enhance their chances of survival by combining protection from predators with collective access to limited resources. These strategies not only increase safety, but also allow species to better exploit the mountain environment, even under severe conditions. Another fascinating behavior is vertical migration. Many species adjust their altitude according to the season, ascending or descending the mountains in search of better weather and food. This movement can be observed in birds, insects, and even small mammals like the pika, which stores food in strategic locations to prepare for winter. This behavior reveals a delicate balance between instinct and intelligence. But with the changes in climate and habitat, will these strategies remain effective in the face of increasingly unpredictable challenges? Mountains, for all their grandeur, are not as impenetrable as they seem. Human activity has reached these remote environments, bringing alarming consequences. The construction of roads and ski resorts, for instance, fragments once continuous habitats, making it harder for animals like the snow leopard to move and hunt across large areas. Additionally, mining at high altitudes destroys fragile ecosystems, wiping out endemic species before they can even be studied. It's as if we're poking holes in the foundation of a complex system that supports not only animals, but global biodiversity as a whole. Another devastating impact comes from climate change. Rising temperatures are melting glaciers, which serve as the primary water source for mountain ecosystems and the valleys below. Without this resource, cold-adapted species like the pika face serious risks of extinction. Additionally, shifting tree lines push low-altitude species upward, creating unfair competition with native mountain species. This silent struggle for space and resources threatens to unravel the ecological balance that has taken thousands of years to develop. Tourism also plays a role in this equation. Although mountains are spectacular tourist destinations, human presence is not always positive. Litter left behind by visitors, noise pollution, and disturbances to sensitive areas during breeding seasons have profound impacts. The result? An environment increasingly less welcoming to the animals that call the mountains home. But as the warning signs grow more evident, how can we reverse or mitigate these impacts and ensure that mountains remain sanctuaries of life? In mountain regions, iconic animals are not just part of the ecosystem. They hold profound meaning for local communities. The snow leopard, for example, is revered as a symbol of strength and mystery in Asian cultures, often called the spirit of the mountain. For many Himalayan peoples, sighting this feline is considered a sign of good fortune and a connection to the sacred. This relationship goes beyond the simple observation of wildlife, transforming mountain fauna into integral parts of cultural identity. Additionally, myths surrounding these animals reflect humanity's struggles and admiration for the mountains. Tibetan legends speak of giant eagles guarding the mountains and their secrets, while in Europe, mountain goats appear as symbols of resilience and agility in ancient tales. These stories not only highlight the incredible qualities of these animals, but also serve as teaching tools for younger generations, emphasizing the importance of respecting and protecting the environment. Curiously, many of these stories have universal resonance, linking distant cultures through their shared admiration for these creatures. However, this cultural connection isn't just history, it influences modern practices. Some communities still live in harmony with these animals, using traditional knowledge to coexist. In Nepal, conservation programs integrate local beliefs about the snow leopard to ensure the protection of the animal and the surrounding biodiversity. These efforts show how myths and realities can intertwine to benefit both humans and mountain inhabitants. But in an increasingly urbanized world, will future generations continue to see these animals as cultural symbols, or will they be relegated to relics in a museum of a lost past? The biodiversity of mountains is at a critical point where historical and emerging challenges collide. With global warming reshaping habitats, species that evolved to survive under extreme conditions are being forced to seek refuge at even higher altitudes, a task that becomes increasingly difficult as space and resources dwindle. Species like the pika, which depend on constant cold to regulate their metabolism, are already disappearing from some areas. These impacts affect not only fauna but also flora, threatening the delicate balance of high-altitude ecosystems. Despite these challenges, sustainable solutions are being implemented in some parts of the world. Protected areas in mountainous regions, such as Sagarmatha National Park in Nepal, demonstrate how conservation zones can serve as refuges for biodiversity. Programs for species reintroduction, like efforts to repopulate snow leopards in degraded habitats, are also steps in the right direction. Additionally, initiatives in sustainable tourism have shown that it's possible to enjoy the beauty of mountains without destroying their precious ecosystems. Protecting these environments requires a combination of modern technology, public policy, and ancestral wisdom. However, no solution will be effective without global awareness. Educating local and international communities about the importance of mountains to the biodiversity cycle is a crucial element in ensuring their preservation. After all, these regions are not only home to unique species, but also provide water and climate stability for billions of people worldwide. The question remains, will we act quickly enough to protect these ecosystems before it's too late? Mountains, with their challenges and mysteries, are more than breathtaking landscapes. They are homes to a fascinating biodiversity full of stories of resilience. Each species that scales steep cliffs, withstands extreme cold, or glides on air currents represents life's purest form of perseverance. But this resilience is not infinite. As we explore and understand these ecosystems better, it becomes our responsibility to protect them. After all, the struggle for survival in the mountains is not just about the animals. It reflects the challenges we all face on a constantly changing planet. So, if you've been fascinated by these stories and want to learn more about the secrets of wildlife and environmental challenges, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Activate notifications to keep up with incredible content about biodiversity, adaptations, and the wonders of nature. Together we can explore, admire, and protect our world.